After the illegal occupation of Tibet by China in 1959, one of the most important responsibility of each and every Tibetan is to preserve the rich Tibetan culture and its language. Ngawang Phuntsok has been holding a worldwide Tibetan children's language competition, and this year his language competition page saw about 300 participants from all over India. Let's speak to Ngawang La more about this competition and its purpose. Ngawang La, welcome to our show. It's really nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me here, Sakina.
Ngawang La, you have always been very vocal and also very active when it comes to preserving the Tibetan culture and especially its language. And you said that you always wanted to do something from your part to the Tibetan community, and since 4 years you have been holding this Tibetan language competition for children on Facebook. So tell us, how did you come up with this idea and why do you think that it is so important for our children to know its importance?
Thank you, Sakina. First of all, thanks for having me here. For many years I've been breaking down things in my brain, what I really should do and what would be things that I would do would bring result. 2016 was the year when we started, and that was the year when my mom also passed away. So I wanted to do something seriously that would make my mom proud if she was alive. And from my idea, the main objective is to have our culture stay alive, our language and identity. So that's why I thought, if we want to keep our culture and language alive, it's the children where we need to speak to. You know, it's the children we need to teach that why our language is important, how that would help us continue our struggle. It's important to let the children know they are the future citizens of Tibet. The hopes are on them. You know, if we teach our children to speak, read and write in Tibetan, then there is a hope for our struggle in future.
Okay, so tell us, how long did it take for you to prepare all these, and what do you do to make all the Tibetan children aware of this competition?
Right, so when I started, it wasn't like very easy. So what I had to do was I had to share my idea on Facebook with a little Facebook post. And it grew from there. Then I started speaking to people that I know in Dharamsala that has some contact with the school. So the first person I spoke to was Nawa. So he used to work for Sambhuta Tibet headquarters here. So I told him my idea, and then he went to Tibetan school, and then they sent me the first batch of the essays. And then it grew from there. So on the first year we had 3 schools participating only in essay. So gradually we, in the last four years, we have expanded from 3 schools to 15 schools now. We speak to the school headmaster or principal, and they are the one who selects the children who is going to take part in our competition.
Ngawang La, compared to the earlier years, most of the people, they have now started noticing and they have now started becoming aware of this competition this year. And also we can see the increasing rise of participants too. When I went through your competition page on Facebook, I saw so many videos of so many children, and all are so smart and all are so talented. And I was just wondering, how do you make the selection, you know, like how do you select your winners, and what is it that you are seeking in each individual?
So the selection part, it's not me who selects it. In the beginning, when we had only essays, because our idea was not grown up entirely, we depended on the viewers, whoever gets more like. Then we changed it to we'll have a scholar, a judge. He will decide who wins the prize. But at the same time, because we want to keep children, parents, teachers, and viewers, everybody, together. So we have to also keep the 2 different prizes, one for the scholar and one for the public. So people can still take part, but the prize monies are different. The ones selected by the
Judge?
Judge is more. Once selected by the viewers are lesser in amount. The childrens, they send me videos, and we have scholar that will decide who's good, and they have a different set of prize money, and then we have winners selected by the viewers from Facebook, and whoever gets the most like becomes the winner. Now what we are trying to see in the participant is their way of speaking Tibetan, how good they are, how well they are dressed up in Tibetan costume, how well they present, and how depth they know about the Tibetan culture, traditions, and how confident they are. We're looking for kids who can speak fluently, who is very good in Tibetan tradition, culture, knowledge about Tibetan culture and traditions.
So Ngawang, firstly, when you started this initiation, were you expecting a large number of participants that you have recently been receiving?
This year I wasn't expecting 300 videos. I was expecting around like 100 or 150. This year we had nearly 300 participants. Partly the reason behind this is because there's a lockdown going on. All the schools are closed, and all the children are home. And I made a Facebook announcement. It went around from social media, and I sent it to all the teachers that I have in contact with. So I sent them the circulars, announcement and all that. So many children participated. So I don't know if this is going to be continue next year, because next year, if the pandemic is over, then it go back to school. Then we will only select 12 videos and 12 essays from a school that has 12 up to 12 standards. So there's a limit, because we don't want a lot of videos. Like, for example, we don't want 500 videos, 1,000 videos, because then we can't work it. Yes. And people can't work out who's the winner.
And also, I think that this year, most of the students, they are very intrigued about this competition, because even the participants, even though they are not winners, even they get certificates and cash prize, right?
Well, I'm hoping for that. At the moment, we have our budget is 52,761 rupees left. I have to pay 84,000 rupees as a prize only to the winner. Now, out of say like 12 winners from 300, rest of them are participants. If I give them 200 or 300, I'm looking for around 1,50,000 rupees. Now I have to find this money through social media. So at the moment, I don't know what's going to happen, but my hope is that we should actually give 500 rupees this year to all the participants, with one certificate and hopefully a Tibetan scarf. That will really encourage, because this year is exceptionally different, because this year is we're giving thanksgiving to His Holiness, and all the participants, they've done their best, and this opportunity may not arise in future, because future selection of students will continue from school.
Nawa, you do all the possible good deeds that you can, and not just that, you have also encouraged other Tibetans also to do the same. Do you have any message or a word of advice for the young Tibetan generation?
What we need to realize is that we are a generation, a Tibetan generation, and our struggle, we have to understand our struggle. We don't know how long our struggle is going to be. It may take 5 years, 10 years, 50 years, 100 years, 200 or 500. And what I like is there's one saying in Tibetan: prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Okay, we can hope for the best, we can have dreams and stuff like that. But when it comes to preparing for the worst, I'm thinking like, how can we survive in exile for 400 or 500 years? And to do that, to survive 500 years in exile, the key to survival is identity, the language, culture, tradition, and our religion. So if we can continue this, we can pass this down to our new generation, then we will have a hope. So that's why I always like to encourage my Tibetan younger generation to respect our language. Do not ignore it. Do not underestimate it. What we want to do is we want to create an environment in the Tibetan community that Tibetan language is important and it's fun, right? We have to make this in a way of creative way so that children get excited, you know. Otherwise, you see, we have schools, right? Children go to school, they come back home, boom, nothing happens. So we want the best for the children in the school, but at the same time, we want informal education, you know. We want them get involved in creativity, do different different ways of learning, you know. And that way, I think the children will get excited. So we want to change their mindset. So that's my message to the Tibetan children.
Ngawang, you said that you are also a musician and you are very fond of singing. So would you like to sing a song for us?
Sure, I'll sing a song. Chola la ho na son la de gala Jai du kambu sha zin la to mola Pe me pe don ta la shi so to wa ya ge la ya ge kon bela Thank you.
That was lovely, Ngawang. Thank you so much for the performance and thank you so much for speaking to Tibettv.
Thank you, you're all welcome.
Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next episode of In Conversation with Tibettv.